You thought you got rid of me, didn't you? You thought the 2-day weekend meant that you were never going to see me again. Well, no, my friends. You're never, ever, in the words of Chris Jericho, going to be gone with me, because I'm too outspoken, I'm too big of a loudmouth, and frankly, I'm just here to annoy the piss out of each and every one of you that disagree with my opinions, and I'm here to entertain and enthrall those of you that believe in me. Welcome to Pull No Punches TV. I am Jay Pagliaro, the man behind the mask, the myth, the legend, TNT behind sunglasses, in the words of my good friend Ed Myers, who's listening to this. Welcome to our program. We're live from 11:30 to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for tuning in. KurtAngleFoods.com, HealthUpUSA.com. We're on Facebook. We're live on location on Penn Avenue here in the Strip District in Pittsburgh at the Health Up Cafe. Again, be sure to stop by, get a great meal. Check out some of the Gigs TV programming. Doug Mariani will follow us at 12:30 with JD. What's it? Spread the Health. And what the hell is that? JD, what kind of prompt are you setting on my? What is this? What is this crap? You got Brutus Beefcake? What the? Zoom in on this. What?
As you describe it.
What the hell? You got Brutus Beefcake and Hulk Hogan doing something, and you got Rampage Jackson. JD, what are you doing to me here? What is that the Undertaker setup? Is this some kind of sick joke? What the hell, bro? That's gross. Get that crap out of my sight. That's gross. Get that. We don't encourage that sort of shenanigans and tomfoolery here on Pull No Punches TV. I assure you of that. I don't know what they do on the other programs. I know Doug doesn't do it. JD, what on God's name did you do on the wrestling today? What went on in here? Do I want to know? Anyway. Let that tomfoolery aside, thank you for joining us. Feel free to get our comments, questions, and complaints onto our chat room. We'll be sure to get to it. Now, today on the program, I've got a great guest on store with me. I've got him on the line now, actually waiting to talk, waiting very patiently. He is Asher Lutz of the Coalition of Combat. This Saturday, live on pay-per-view, and those of you that are in the Phoenix, Arizona metropolitan area, he'll be holding a live event, the Coalition of Combat 1 Bangers Ball. After that last little setup, I don't know if I should necessarily say Bangers Ball. That kind of sounds like, no. It'll be the Coalition of Combat's inaugural show. I'll be there live and in attendance doing ring announcing and play-by-play. I'll be joined by three-time UFC vet Gabe Godzilla Rudiger. We're going to talk to Asher, though, to get a little bit of an in-depth insight about what Coalition of Combat is all about, what their future plans are, what their future goals are, and more importantly, where he differs from the other promoters out there. Because let me tell you, folks, as I go on this rant here, there are a lot of mixed martial arts promotions out there. I could name probably 100 right off the top of my head. I can tell you from my own synopsis, from my own dealings with Asher, which we've been talking since December, these other promotions act like they're Shangri-La. They act like their shit doesn't stink. They act like, that they're the end-all, beat-all. Let's be realistic here. You're a local promotion, and most of these are local promotions in backwoods, one-horse towns, where the only other thing going on is a local beer pong tournament at Joe and Bob's Beer, a bar and grill, where some guy's taking his sister out on her first date. No, this is legitimate mixed martial arts. This guy runs a clean ship. He treats the fighters well. He pays them what they're worth, and he doesn't lowball them with stupid, dumbass offers like one promoter in Pennsylvania did. Let me tell you a quick story here, because I know JD had to run out and get something real quick. Let me tell you a quick story before I bring Asher on the air here, though. One promoter, and I'm not going to say names because, frankly, I'm not about that. You can do the research and figure it out yourself. One promoter wanted to bring Anthony Johnson, fresh off his run into UFC, in to fight John Howard. Anybody that follows 5 seconds of MMA knows that Anthony Johnson and John Howard have history with one another. They want to get in there, they want to beat the shit out of one another. They do not like one another. Legitimately, there's legit beef and legit bad blood. These guys could go anywhere in the world. I'm not just talking here in the United States. They could go to Japan. They could go to, Singapore, where the ONE FC is holding their events. They could go anywhere on continental United States or in the modern free world and put on this fight for a hell of a lot of money. They could do it on Bellator, on Spike TV, which would, be a huge, huge selling point for the promotion. This promoter wanted to bring them in, have them come fight in a one-horse town where, if you see a crow fly, it's more people than are actually populated in the town. And this jabroni wants to pay these two guys total $2,000. Now, mind you, Keep this in the back of your head here, folks. Anthony Johnson just made $20,000 to fight Vitor Belfort in the UFC, in Brazil in January. 20 grand. He wound up giving up 4 grand because he missed weight, but still 20 grand, 16 grand in his pocket, and this Yutz wants to pay him $1,000 in all expenses. And when I told the guy, you're off your rocker, you're out of your stinking mind, he said, well, I have fights available for them. They want to fight, right? Guess what, buddy? You're not Shangri-La. Nobody's taking an all-expenses ass-kicking to get a free trip to freaking BFE. They're going to want pain as they rightfully deserve. Don't be stupid. Don't be lowball. And sure as hell don't come at them with the, well, I've got fights. Guess what? Every promoter that runs a mixed martial arts federation promotion on God's green earth has fights available. You, sir, certainly aren't the only one. With that being said, JD, any notes before I bring Asher on the air here? No notes? Okay, so JD Coach behind the board helping me not sound like a complete fool. Let's go ahead and introduce our next guest. He is the owner, the CEO, all things encompassing for the Coalition of Combat in Phoenix, Arizona, where I'll be live this week. Let me go ahead and introduce my good friend Asher Lutz. Asher, thanks for joining us here on No Punches TV. How you doing today, sir?
I'm pretty good, Dan.
I'm glad to have you on the program, brother. Good to have you. We got the radio thing done already. Now we're doing it on TV. This week we're going to do it on pay-per-view. It's ready to rock and roll, my man.
Sounds like a good time, man. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Oh, Asher, now real quick to kick off the program. Now I know many people that are listening to this, listen to the Pull No Punches radio spot or regulars to Pull No Punches radio, but we do have some TV specific folks. So for those people, let them know a little bit about what the Coalition of Combat is all about, and let them know about your forthcoming event here.
Well, Coalition of Combat, we're trying to do, an honest promotion, do things right above the table, above board, fight register with Athletic Commission, and make sure that amateur fighters and professional fighters alike are able to build their careers and their records the right way. And so we're doing everything through the Athletic Commission, like I said, all before. So that's kind of one of the ways we're a little different and trying to look out for the fighters. So.
Now, when you mentioned you're looking out for the fighters, in what ways and in what capacities do you go above and beyond the call of duty to help them out? And you've got some good stuff, but I'd rather you tell it rather than me say it for you.
Okay, well, insurance-wise, we have more insurance coverage than most promoters. Even though it costs us more money, we like to, take a little bit better care of the fighters in case something happens. We also decided to bring on Doc Graham and Rob Monroe from the UFC as doctors to make sure that any fighters that get injured taken care of right there, as opposed to, expensive, a possible expensive, hospital visit or anything like that. We have, licensed doctors right there on the spot that, can stitch them up, shape them up, whatever they got to do, reset noses, etc. And then, we're also trying to take care of them pay-wise. We're not trying to rip the guys off, within reason. I mean, every promotion has a budget, but in our case, we're trying to take a little better care of them, by paying them more, and in return, we're looking for, the marketing, putting a little bit of the marketing on their shoulders, advertising for their talking to their fans and stuff like that. So that's one of the ways that we're trying to take care of fighters. We've got a couple other things in place. We've got base scales where we can actually track the marketing that fighters do based on, people coming to watch them, not just based on ticket sales, but based on, people purchasing the live streaming event. We can actually pay them based on how many people buy the live streaming event, from marketing that's done. We have a way of tracking all that, which is a pretty unique individual idea, but we think it's allow the fighters to build their own fan base and really determine their own pay. If you got a lot of people, through social media and social networking and, personal marketing of yourself, those people that tune in and watch you fight or come to watch you fight, we have a way to track all of that. So these fighters can really, they can really hit big paydays if they really just want to get out there and promote themselves, which is, something that we're strong advocates of. It's a little bit of a different approach as opposed to, building up a name. We're building up league with names. We're not building up name with the league. So, it's a different marketing approach, really. But it also, like I said, it's a little bit of pressure on the fighters to market themselves. But really, it's an easy thing. If you're, you're a good guy, a bad guy. If you're a nice guy, you're not a nice guy. Either way, people like to watch fights. That's just all there is to it. The reason mixed martial arts is the fastest growing movement in the world. already. They wouldn't have to be getting sifted through, the UFC or subsidiary strike force to create a name for themselves. They would already have it. So that's one of the ways we're going to take care of fighters.
And one thing I also want to bring up to you, Asher, here is this, and I was mentioning to it before I brought you on the air, and you may have heard most of that, but I like your mentality with that, because there are so few promoters out there that are willing to pay these guys what they're worth. And granted, I understand the perspective of the promoter. If you go out and you give it Anthony Johnson, for lack of a better term, and not picking on Anthony or singling him out, but just for lack of a better term, because I brought him up earlier, if you give Anthony Johnson 20 grand, for an upstart promotion, that's going to quickly put you guys in the red, and you better sell a lot of tickets in quickly in order to make up your profit. But at the same time, you give these guys the opportunity not only to pay them fairly, but to make a little bit of residual on the side, which to me, that's everything. I mean, the fighters, what they bring home is basically going to dictate how much training they're able to do and how much money they're able to put in their kids' and food in their kids' mouths and money in their pockets.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, we just actually got done with a big conference call with the board about, doing something for fighters. Not just getting, sponsor-wise. A lot of these sponsors, like sites that we get siphoned through these major leagues like Strikeforce and the UFC, they never actually have any direct contact with the fighter. And if they do, it's so limited. It's so managed. A lot of these fighters don't even see the potential of their sponsors, wanting to give them money. I can't mention any names. I can mention leagues. I can't mention any names. In one case, I know a fighter who had a sponsor, the protein sponsor, and he came through and he was going to give the fighter $10,000. The UFC ended up taking $4,000 of that. That's a lot of money. And because of that, we're trying to do something else. We're building a part of our website where people can go on there and, these fighters, they'll have their own profile. The whole web page is built on a social media platform. So we actually have the ability to let sponsors go in and say, wow, this guy looked really good his last couple fights. He's got pictures, he's got videos, he's got a bio about himself. And people can really learn to understand the fighters, actually, get to know them. They can also fit that where they train. If you got down in Pittsburgh, who says he wants to follow, so-and-so trainer out of Pittsburgh, he can look them up on our website, as long as the guy's registered, and, he can follow this guy to the school and say, look, I train at the same school where my favorite fighter is training. That's huge. That's building a fan base, getting in touch with people that are following you, that want to be a part of your career. And we actually can help you make money off of that when they come to watch you fight, as a fighter. And that's part of our whole webpage, how our whole website is built on a social media platform. And then it also ties in with Facebook and Twitter. So when these people follow, register as a fan on our website and then follow fighters they think look good or, they like the bio or their story or whatever, these fighters basically have a direct link to their fans. So, say, you're a fighter on our website and you have 10,000 followers, after your fight and all these people sit in and watch you and start commenting on your Facebook and your Twitter, say you won, they're all happy for you and stuff like that. You can actually call us and say, hey, I'm going to send you guys an email. I want you to send out personal email to all the people that follow my profile. And we can send that out to you. Boom. Just like that, you're in touch with 10,000 fans. And if you think it's not going to have a good rapport with them, you're wrong. I mean, who wouldn't enjoy a personalized message from the person that they're following or watching fight, spending money to watch these people's careers grow? That's big. That's another big way we're taking care of our fighters. It's a healthcare market, and our whole website is built off of that. To give you an example, just to give you an idea, our website's done 85,000 hits this month, and we haven't even done our first event yet. That's it. 85,000 hits, unique visitors to our website, and we haven't even put on an event yet. We haven't even begun to build our name, and we're already doing that kind of volume. So, I mean, it was any fighter, any fan, to get on our website and register and to follow us, because we're not one of these small-time promotions that claim to stay here in Phoenix. We don't want to stay here. We want to move all over the country, and hopefully, there's guys all over the world and help people, help fighters and help fighters and promoters, sponsors all over the world grow. And that's what our whole basis is off of. This is such a great movement, and it's sad that so we want you guys to be able to talk to the people, talk to the fighters, talk to the people that are sponsoring and say, hey, we really appreciate you putting the body on the line and making entertaining fights and advertising for our company. And, we're not taking a large portion of that. If they register through our site as a sponsor, they want to give $10,000, we take $1,000, 10%, that's it, and that's just for site maintenance and keeping the website up. So we offer this to our fighters. We're not taking 50%, we're not taking 20% like some managers or some management companies, fighters, nothing like that. We're taking 10%, that's it, and we don't take any of the fighters' pay to maintain the profile. They can do it online for free. All they have to do is register.
We're talking Asher Lutz, the owner, CEO, president of the Coalition of Combat here on Pull No Punches TV. Asher, one thing I want to throw out there to you that you made mention of is to, again, you're fighter friendly, you're looking to grow this. It's not about the money. I mean, there are so many promoters out there that are about just putting money in their own pockets, that are out to screw the name of this good sport to try to make money. You personally, I can tell you, if I can divulge on some of the conversations we've had on the telephone, just shooting back and forth, you're talking about a guy here, folks, who's already stated he is ready and willing to lose money if need be to put on a proper show. And let me tell you, I've been part of the Arizona MMA scene for a long time. I knew Asher back when, Joe Riggs, Edwin DeWeese, these kids were kids coming up the ranks, Then we saw the Baders, the Dalloways, those guys sort of make their way, the Simpsons. But my principle on this, though, is this. You're coming out of a big market in Phoenix, Arizona. It's not Tippecanoe, Kansas, or Moose Lick, Iowa, or some crap like that. You're holding it in one of the 6 biggest cities in the United States, one of the biggest metropolitan areas. 2, you're having it on pay-per-view. How many fighters can actually say their first professional fight or even their first amateur fight was shown on pay-per-view with a UFC fighter and some other Italian schmuck? We don't need to talk about him too much. Announcing your fights. I mean, it's big time stuff. It's big time stuff. And mainly, number 3 point I want to point out here is you're putting on competitive fights. Now, I'm not dropping names. I'm not going to throw people under the bush. There's another more well-known, established promotion out there that holds mismatches, and these are my words. They hold mismatches where, with due respect to it, it's basically glorified professional wrestling, where you have a superstar versus a jobber. The end result. No fighter's a jobber. Don't get me wrong. Anybody that gets in there that has the balls to train and do this is a man in my book, or a woman, because women are becoming more meticulous in this sport. But it's to me, you put on those. What's with the? Oh damn it! Asher, we got like technical. There's this like spirit that screws with me every broadcast. I want to kick his ass. You're gonna need his. What happened to the lights? Dude, this is screwy. I'm gonna like have a mess in my pants before I go to Phoenix. I'm gonna need to use Asher's hospitalization in order to. Asher, are you gonna cover your broadcasters with this, because it's freaking me out? I'm like becoming like paranoid here.
Yeah, you're covered. So you're covered in the population coverage for our insurance policy, for sure. So if you have a mess in your pants, then we might still have a fire to come out and clean that up for you.
Perfect. Or you can get Rudiger to do it. He's gonna have to earn his money, all right?
I don't know. You can still game that face to face. You're a little bigger than I am.
I'm not that gutsy, believe me. But no, my point is though, you hold competitive fights. To me, that's what the fans pay their hard-earned money to see. Is they pay to see competitive fights where the end result is in doubt. They don't pay their hard-earned money to see one guy kick the shit out of another guy and the other guy get in there and be completely outmatched.
No, definitely not. And that's something I had to explain to a lot of these fighters. Coming down here and seeing some of the actually all the promotions in this area and going to their shows. One of the biggest things that I tell fighters, I'm not here to pad your record. I'm not here to coach you. I'm not here to coach you up. You got to build yourself up. I'm not going to stick nobody in the ring with somebody who's, I'm not going to stick an amateur in the ring that's never had any fights before, the guy that's 6-0. I'm just not going to do that. You're going to have to earn your name. I don't pad fights. I don't pad records. I make fights. I put together fights. And that's what people want to see. They don't want to see somebody come in there, from nobody fight somebody and get blasted. That's a monkey stomping. And that's not something that I do. That's not something that I condone. I actually had to have this talk with a few fighters, that have told me in the past that, that they've had their records padded. I had, 2 fighters in particular tell me that they were scared to fight for me because they knew I wasn't going to give them easy fights. And I said, oh, you're right, I'm not going to give you an easy fight. You know, you've had easy fights your whole amateur career so far, and, you know, if you want to go pro, this is not, you know, padding your record is not the way to do it. You're not just going to hop into a pro ring with a guy who's been doing this day in and day out after coming off, you know, 6-0 amateur, you know, wins or whatever, and be a superstar. It's not going to happen. And if you think that you're not going to get thrown to the lions, you're wrong. You are nobody. You are an amateur, and you're coming into this professional, you know, ring. And there are people who have been in the game longer than you that need a stepping stone, and that is not what you want to be. So if you want to really be a fighter, if you're not a hobby fighter, as I call them, if you're not a hobby fighter, then I'm the person you want to fight for. Because I'm going to put you against people where if you win, if you really want it bad enough, and you win, you're going to make a name for yourself because you fought your heart out. Not because you fought for me, because you fought.
Absolutely.
So, and that's something I had to have a lot of talks with, you know, professional amateur fighters alike. And I've had, you know, some of these fighters even come forward and said, yes, some of these leagues in Arizona have actually helped them pad their record. And that's just, you know, that's not me. People don't want to see padded records. People want to see fights. So either you want this or you don't. And if you want it, then I'm the person you want to fight for, because I'm going to help you make that happen. I'm going to help you, you know, I'm going to put you in the, you know, place and give you the opportunity for you to make yourself a better, you know, a bigger, better name in the sport.
Absolutely. Now, Asher, our chat room as we speak, it's hopping like the America West Arena, or U.S. Airways Center, I guess it's called now, after watching the Suns beat the crap out of the Lakers last night. It's hopping like a jalapeno bean. So we got a couple of questions. You mind if we answer some? Mind answering some of these with me?
Not a problem, go ahead.
All right, question number one we got from Josh in Boston. He wanted to know if we thought that Ken Shamrock would make it into current day UFC.
Can you repeat that question? I'm sorry, you cut out.
Yeah, Josh from Boston wanted to know if we thought that Ken Shamrock would be the name he was in current day UFC. Do you think he'd make it in a modern sport of MMA and in the UFC?
You know, the wonderful thing about this sport is anybody who wants to do it, do it. The drawback about this sport is people who have been doing it for so long, like Ken Shamrock, you know, the body is listening to a lot of damage. You know, it's not like boxing, you know, where you're sentenced to one part of your body getting damaged. It's every part of the body. So, I mean, if Ken Shamrock can overcome some of the ailments and injuries he has as an older MMA fighter, then yes, he does have the potential to do that. But the fact is, bodies ache. You know, and it's just a matter of how much, you know, endurance, how much your body can withstand. So there's a possibility, yeah, that Ken Shamrock could come back and be the person he once was in, you know, the UFC in modern days. But there's also that possibility that might not. So I would say, honestly, it's kind of a coin flip. But if Ken Shamrock is a seasoned fighter, and he was a great fighter, you know, so I can't count him out, but I can't necessarily count him in with his age, which is unfortunately a factor in MMA.
And you know what? I'm a big Ken Shamrock fan. He is a pioneer of the sport. You know, I'm fans of the guy. I'm a fan of the guy. I like the guy personally. You know, I followed UFC way back when. You know, back in the day when he was the big name. Hoist was there, Dan Severn, and I've had the benefit of having some of these guys on No Punches Radio. You know, guys like Kimo Leopoldo, Paul Varland. You know, Dan Severn. The fact of the matter is this, though. The sport has truly just evolved, Asher, to the point to where I don't think Ken Shamrock would make it in modern UFC, just because the sport is now so much different than it was back in 1993, 94, 95, in the beginnings when it was no holds barred. You see the wrestlers who can strike. You see the kickboxers who can grapple. I mean, this kid, there's this kid that just broke up in the ranks, Stephen Thompson. 63-0 as a kickboxer, but he's got a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt under Carlos Machado, who is, you know, also the guy who gave Travis Lutter his black belt. I mean, so the sport has just evolved so very much to where Ken was, you know, he was two-dimensional. I don't want to say he was one-dimensional, but to me, you have to have the full package to survive in modern-day MMA, and modern-day UFC. I just don't think Ken would do it. But Asher, we got about 5 minutes left here in the program. Want to wrap it up? Let's talk about some of the fights and some of the pre-show festivities that the people could check out for Coalition of Combat.
They can hop online, www.thecoalitionofcombat.com. They see the fight card. Fighters still getting their footballs up, or still working out a few bugs on the website, but for the most part, everything's running smoothly. So that's place to go. It can also get you the live event code, so you can watch the event live on the internet, or you can take it if you're in the Phoenix area.
Absolutely. We got the live weigh-ins coming up on Friday at 6 o'clock at the Mad Dog Saloon in Mace off US 60 and Stapley Road. Be sure to check that out. What kind of festivities will be going on Friday night for the weigh-ins?
Well, it's going to be an interesting show, that's for sure. I know we got a lot of guys that are coming in shape. We got guys that are hip, a lot of guys that are Texas. We got people coming out of California, Las Vegas. We got a lot of solid fighters coming from all over the Southwest here, and even we've got a guy from the Midwest coming out, and he's going to be our main event. You can expect, some pretty heated sit-downs. I don't know. We're hoping no physical contact yet, but we can't guarantee anything. But it should be a very interesting way. I know a lot of these fighters, they've had pretty major beef figuring out how much has been hyped, and how many people are talking about it. And they've started beefing back and forth already. I've seen some of it on Facebook and some of the other social media sites. So I'm definitely looking forward to the weigh-ins. To see these guys square up and size each other up.
And for those of you watching, be sure I assure you, I promise you with my word, Gabe Rudiger will not be getting colonics like he did on Tough 5 at the weigh-ins. Don't even bother asking me that crap, because it's not happening, and I sure as hell ain't getting no colonics either. Asher, brother, as always, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for joining us here on Pull No Punches TV on KurtAngleFoods.com and Gigs TV. Any final words you'd like to give to the listening audience before we set you go?
I just want to say thank you everybody who's helped build this promotion so far, and thank you to all the people that are talking about it and promoting it on our Facebook, Twitter, and any other ways they can. We really appreciate you guys. And without the fans, we're really not a league, and without the fighters, we're not a league yet. So, props out to everybody that's really helped.
Thank you very much, Asher. And for those watching, be sure to check out www.thecoalitionofcombat.com. That being said, we're going to wrap it up for today's show. I'd like to thank our special guest, Asher Lutz of the Coalition of Combat. And just a quick programming note, again, this Thursday and Friday, Pull No Punches TV will be preempted, as I will be in Phoenix, Arizona, helping with the aforementioned Coalition of Combat. Certainly looking forward to that, but be sure to tune in tomorrow and Wednesday. And Thursday and Friday, we'll be showing the best of Pull No Punches TV. We've only been on a couple of weeks, and I've already got the best of. How good is that? But for the man behind the board, JD Coach, the guy who keeps it all happening for me, I am Jay Pagliaro. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time here on Gigs TV, KurtAngleFoods.com, and the other affiliated Kurt Angle sites. Be good, and remember, if it ain't happening on Pull No Punches, it just ain't happening. Good day, everyone.